1, 2, 3, start!
Eki lapa unidikas.
Sos tarzila bez.
E plačal ma bu.
Plačal tu bot. Tu si tu buti. Buti. Ca un șofer.
Șofer?
And now you listen the new Gipsy Casual. Gipsy Casual. Casual di long. Gia. 2011 and wow. Balans Prala.
It's made in Romania.
Haydi çay şukari. Haydi palamandi, haydi çay uri. I'm sim şukar tu şukari. Haydi palamandi, haydi çay uri. Gypsy, singing again for you, do it again for you. Selecta, make the counting, make the right name, make some movie like the dancer queen. Come on, baby.
Come on, was my boy.